Kia ora everybody, my name's Paul Tyler. I'm the General Manager of Property at Tātaki Auckland Unlimited, and we're here today on top of the roof at the Auckland Art Gallery to walk you through some of the works we've been doing around the Heritage Restoration Project. So we'll show you some of the features, we'll show you the progress we've made to date. Let's go for a little walk. So one of the things we're trying to do on this project is to restore some of the lost heritage features. So behind me you can see these large copper roof cowls. Now the purpose of those historically was decorative, and we've managed to find out what they look like and recreate those from historic photographs. Now the purpose of those is not only decorative, they're actually functioning as extract systems from the building. So we've got a modern application. Just thought we'd stop here quickly because this is a really interesting part of the roof. There's a lot going on and it shows the complexity of what we're trying to deal with. So in this corner you can see the blue is the waterproofing membrane, and that's being built up with battens. That creates an extra roof cavity over the original kauri timber. In addition, you can see the slate that's been finished with the copper nails. You can see the new copper guttering, which has been increased in size to accommodate future climate change and anticipated extra waterfall. And over in that corner, you can see the handcrafted lead flashing, which has had to be bended and welded in situ, as it comes between this odd-shaped roof and the dome structure. We've got the cabling for the future lighting. Now that's important because we needed to know where the lights went before we did all this work, so that once it's all wrapped around, we're not compromising the weather tightness of the building. Really cool story about this project is the original slate was mined in the Penrhyn mine in northern Wales. That would have been about 1880. We managed to find the mine and it's still open 140 years later. And using the original specifications, we managed to get the new slate from the same place, shipped over to New Zealand 140 years later. This corner shows various stages of progress around managing the paint systems. The dirty old grey you can see here was what it was like before we started works. Now, when the original building was opened in 1887, it wasn't painted. It wasn't until about 1920 that they applied the first bit of paint. Now that was probably because back in the day Auckland was quite dirty, quite sooty, and the building started to become black with all the soot and the pollution. So in the 1920s they started applying some paint. Now what you're looking over here is over 100 years worth of paint accumulation, and that means that the paint system underneath is starting to fail. So the only way we can guarantee a good finish for the future is to take all of that off and start again. One of the challenges we've had to overcome is as we started to strip the original paint layers down, we found this black layer, which you can see down here at the bottom. That black layer was put on before they did the first painting in 1920. And it's a tar-like substance, it's a bitumen layer. It's been really difficult for us to figure out a way to get that off, but it's really important, otherwise the new paint layer won't stick. Because of the heritage status of the building, the external fabric is actually protected, which means we need to preserve it as much as possible. The method we settled on at the end was just a standard chemical strip, and that seemed to have the best effect while preserving the fabric of the building. So the stair dome behind me, you can see the finished product. That's got the primer layer on it and the 6 top coats of paint. Now the colour we went for, again, was from historic photographs, so which we think would have replicated the original paint colour. So one of the reasons we've stopped here is this is a good example of some of the minor seismic strengthening works we've been doing. These things here are called pediments, and you can see from the back there's some beams that now hold on and attach to the back. That just minimises the risk of them falling forward or off the building in case of an earthquake. So as we've been walking around, you would have noticed the complexity of the scaffold, and it really is like a maze that's wrapped around the building. Now the purpose of the scaffold is so the contractors can access all parts of the building, but also allows us to put a shrink wrap around the outside. Now that ensures the building remains dry and weather tight during the winter periods whilst we're taking the roof off. One of the innovations we did was take a point cloud survey. So we used drones to map the outside of the building to extreme accuracy, and that allowed the scaffold designers and other tradespeople to actually plan the scaffold around the building using that digital model. So when it was opened in 1887, the Auckland Art Gallery was one of Auckland's first cement rendered buildings. So cement was a new technology at those times. What you can see here is over the last 140 years, parts of the original cement which has been laid over the brick have become drubby, which means it's coming away from the brick. So we've had to do localised repairs. What you can see here is a work in progress to a repair on one of the window lintels. So you can see they've cut out the old damaged render and structure. They'll put a new forming in and allow a new modern technology replacement for the cement to go in and reform that damage. There's hundreds of windows on the Auckland Art Gallery, and they're all original and they're all made out of kauri. They've also been installed from the inside, so we've had to carefully repair all of the windows from the outside. This involves stripping the window down from all the years of paint, doing any repairs using replacement bits of kauri, and then repainting them. The people you've seen working today are heritage specialists, they're craftspeople, and they've taken a lot of time and care and passion into handworking everything you've seen today. So thanks for coming on the walk around of the Heritage Restoration Project. I've enjoyed showing you around.
Bye for now, ka kite.